evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lepakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 21st of September. Violent protests continue as Nepal adopts new constitution. Ready to face domestic trial, says former Lankan army chief Fonseka. And India's cricket fraternity condoles death of Bcci chief Jagmaohan Dalmiya. And now for all the details. Nepal witnessed violent protests across several regions as ethnic groups and some minority parties decried the new constitution. On Sunday, Nepal adopted the new charter after years of political and civil unrest.
Violent protests were reported from several regions of Nepal after it formally adopted the first democratic constitution, ending a 7-year-long wait. Protests erupted in the Himalayan nation as some ethnic and religious groups alleged that lawmakers ignored their concerns while reshaping new borders. The mainstream political parties decided to go ahead with voting for the draft of the new charter despite boycott by some Madheshi-centric parties and violence over division of 7 federal states. Already 40 people have died in violence in recent weeks. Security was stepped up across the nation on Sunday as Nepal adopted the new charter intended to end the prolonged political instability in the country.
नेपाल को संविधान आज मिति 2072 साल असोज 3 गतेदेखि प्रारम्भ भएको नेपाली जनता समक्ष घोषणा गर्दछु.
Meanwhile, supporters of the new charter hoped for political stability in the country.
संविधानलाई संशोधन गरेर भए पनि हामीले संविधानलाई उत्पीडित क्षेत्र वर्ग लिङ्ग र समुदायमुखी बनाउने चाहिँ प्रयत्न चाहिँ गरेको छ. एउटा चाहिँ 6 दशक बढी लामो बहसको युगको चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ अन्त भएको छ र नयाँ युगको सुरुवात भएको छ.
Nepal has had an interim constitution since monarchy ended in 2008 following pro-democracy protests in the country. Prime Minister Sushil Koirala had earlier promised to bring the new constitution at the earliest to bolster its transformation from a Hindu monarchy to a secular democracy.
Meanwhile, Pakistan has said that it will provide evidence about the links of Tehreek-e-Taliban in last week's Peshawar army base attack with Afghanistan. More than 40 people were killed in the attack.
Pakistan's National Security Advisor Sartaj Aziz said on Sunday that preliminary investigations indicated that Tehreek-e-Taliban planned and carried out the strike. Reiterating the commitment to jointly combat terrorism in the region, Aziz also claimed that evidences, including telephonic records of the attackers, will be provided to Kabul. Aziz's statement comes a day after Afghanistan rejected allegations that the ambush was plotted on its soil. Taliban gunmen had stormed a Pakistan Air Force base in Peshawar on Friday, opening indiscriminate fire, leaving 29 people dead. 13 gunmen were also killed in the army operation. This was the second major Taliban assault in Peshawar in less than a year. 142 people, mostly students, were killed in a Taliban terror attack on an army school last December. Islamabad had long accused its neighbor of sheltering the top leadership of the Pakistan Taliban inside Afghanistan, a charge Kabul has rejected.
Moving on, news from neighbouring India, political activity has picked up in the country's eastern province of Bihar, which goes to polls next month. With less than a month to go, political parties are hurrying to finalize the seats and announcing candidates' name.
The Lok Janshakti Party or LJP, led by Federal Minister Ramvilas Paswan, announced its second list of candidates for Bihar state polls. LJP is one of the alliance partners of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP. The party, which announced the name of 9 candidates, said the alliance partners should make some compromises for the victory of BJP-led National Democratic Alliance.
गठबंधन धर्म की भी अपनी कुछ मजबूरियां होती हैं. अगर हम लोग बहुत ही अड़े रहते, हम लोगों का देखिए जो बड़ा परिप्रेक्ष्य है, जिस उद्देश्य के लिए, जिस लक्ष्य के लिए हम लोग एकजुट होकर, एकत्रित होकर हम लोग आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, हमारा एनडीए गठबंधन आगे बढ़ रहा है, वो है एनडीए की सरकार वहां पर मजबूती से बनाना. 243 सीटों पे जो एनडीए के प्रत्याशी हैं वो अपनी जीत सुनिश्चित करें। उसमें अगर हम लोग इन फाइटिंग करेंगे या सीटों को लेकर या किसी भी इश्यू को लेकर इतना बड़ा बना देंगे कि एक कहीं ना कहीं एक उसमें गतिरोध लग जाए, बातचीत पूरी नहीं हो पाए, तो इसका नुकसान गठबंधन के हर दल को उठाना पड़ेगा।
Another NDA ally, the Rashtriya Lok Samata Party, also announced its list of candidates for the polls. The party is contesting in 23 seats. Meanwhile, former provincial chief Jitan Ram Manjhi, who is also part of the NDA, filed his nomination from Magdampur. He is also contesting from Imamganj.
वहाँ के लोगों की मांग है कि वर्तमान सिनेरियो में जो अभी वहाँ के विधायक हैं उनको फाइट देने वाला कोई अगर हो सकता है तो जीतन मांझी ही हैं। इसलिए सैकड़ों नहीं हजारों लोग आ करके हमारे नेतृत्व को अप्रोच किया और इसके आधार पर नेतृत्व ने हमको इजाजत दी।
The BJP, which is eyeing to capture power in the province, is contesting in 160 out of the 243 seats, while ally LJP is fighting polls from 40 constituencies. Bihar will vote in a 5-phase election beginning October 12th. The result will be announced on November 8th.
India and Pakistan held a flag meeting at a crossing point in Poonch district of Indian Kashmir to diffuse tension along the line of control. There has been a spurt in border firing, with both sides accusing each other of violating ceasefire.
The first brigadier-level flag meet in over a year, which was held at the Chakandaba crossing point, was aimed at restoring the sanctity of the ceasefire along the border and line of control. The meeting comes nearly a week after Directors General of India's Border Security Force and Pakistan Rangers met in New Delhi to discuss the prevailing situation at the LOC. Indian government said such meetings will help in bridging trust deficit between the two sides.
जो फ्लैग मीटिंग होता है वो फॉलो अप है। पिछली बार डीजी लेवल का यहाँ दिल्ली में बातचीत हुआ था, हमसे मिले थे पाकिस्तान का पाक रेंजर्स का जो डीजी का टीम आए थे। आज तो उसका फॉलो अप है, फ्लैग मीटिंग है, इससे कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ेगा, दोनों में अच्छा तालमेल होना चाहिए।
The meeting comes in the backdrop of a series of ceasefire violations by Pakistan in the recent times. Indian military posts and civilian areas have come under attacks by mortars, rocket-propelled grenades and automatic weapons.
In Sri Lanka, former army commander Sarath Fonseka has said that he is ready to face trial on allegations against military operations during the country's civil war. This comes as the Sri Lankan government announced last week to set up a domestic mechanism to probe the war crimes.
Former Sri Lankan Army Commander Field Marshal Sarath Fonseka offered himself to face a domestic court of law on allegations against military operations during the civil war against the minority Tamil rebels. If there are allegations against military operations, I am ready to face anybody and present the right picture. There is no problem. My conscience is clear, he said on Saturday. This comes as the UN in its report last week held both the army and rebels responsible for alleged human rights violations during the 26-year-old civil war. Following this, the Sri Lankan government announced a domestic mechanism to launch criminal investigation into the war crimes. Fonseka, who led the Sri Lankan army between December 2005 and July 2009, is credited with ending the nearly 3-decade-long insurgency by the Tamil Tigers. According to a UN report, around 40,000 people were killed during the final offensive by the army before crushing the Tamil rebels in 2009.
Hitting the streets to demand for their very basic rights has become a routine for the people of Pakistan-administered Kashmir. No matter how loud they shout, their demands fall on deaf ears.
Anger is boiling in Pakistan-administered Kashmir as people continue to struggle for their basic democratic rights. Locals claim that successive governments in Pakistan have neglected the region for years and only rich and influential people get government jobs and the rest struggle for life. Recently, a large number of Jamaat-e-Islami activists in the region took out demonstrations at Central Press Club in Muzaffarabad protesting against the lack of basic facilities. Several areas in Pakistan-administered Kashmir remain in darkness for days despite Mangla Dam and Neelam Jhelum hydropower plants in the area.
आए रोज़ बिजली की लोड शेडिंग और घंटों नहीं बल्कि रातों रात जो है ना वो बिजली नहीं होती, क्योंकि कारोबार के ऊपर इसका एक बहुत बुरा असर पड़ रहा है। और इसी तरह मुजफ्फराबाद शहर के अंदर गलियों का जो हाल है और वो बिल्कुल खंडरात का मंजर पेश कर रहा है और गटर के वो पानी सड़कों के ऊपर जो है वो बह रहे हैं, जिसकी वजह से गुजरना जो है वो मुश्किल हो रहा है और तकर्रियाँ जो है वो रिश्वत और सिफारिश की बुनियाद पे की जा रही हैं।
Locals also accuse the elected representatives of not doing anything to improve the situation.
मैं ये कहता हूँ कि हमारे तमाम मसाइल की जड़ जो है मौजूदा एमएलए और अपोजिशन लीडर है, जिन्होंने कोई काम नहीं किया। हमारे वोटों की बदौलत वो असेंबली में के फ्लोर पे पहुँचे हुए हैं।
Pakistan-administered Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan were originally part of India's princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, which are now under the illegal occupation of Pakistan for over 6 decades. The regions are being exploited for their natural and other resources by Pakistan, which is making no effort to improve the living standard of the people in the remote region.
Moving on to Afghanistan, the newly appointed Afghan Taliban chief Mullah Akhtar Mansoor has appealed for unity among different factions. This comes amidst reports that the militia is heading for a split following dissent over his appointment.
Mullah Akhtar Mansoor has called upon all Taliban groups not to distance themselves from the group's new leadership. In a statement, he also warned that any such move would only weaken the struggle of the militia. His statement comes amid reports that two factions have failed to resolve differences over Mansoor's appointment. The faction which opposed the elevation of Mansoor, including Mullah Omar's family, has demanded that he should step down and the Supreme Council should elect a new chief. The growing confusion among the militia has also threatened to derail the peace process which the Afghanistan government recently initiated. Mansoor, the former deputy of Mullah Omar, was made chief of the Taliban in July following the confirmation of death of its founder Omar.
Jagmaohan Dalmiya, Chief of Board of Control for Cricket in India, or BCCI, passed away late on Sunday. The 75-year-old is credited with making the BCCI one of the richest sports bodies in the world.
India's cricket fraternity paid rich tributes to one of its most high-profile administrators, Jagmaohan Dalmiya. He passed away at a private hospital in eastern Kolkata city after suffering a cardiac arrest. Many in the BCCI felt that his demise has left a vacuum in the administration of the game in the country.
BCCI has lost a visionary and a father figure of Indian cricket. He was a great cricket administrator. It's a great loss to Indian cricket and personally a great loss to me as well.
Known for his marketing skills, Dalmiya is credited with making cricket a commercial success in India. It was his idea of multi-million television deals which propelled the BCCI to the richest cricketing body in the world.
डालमिया जी के जाना सच में बहुत बड़ी क्षति है। मैं उनको व्यक्तिगत रूप से जानता था और अगर पैसा क्रिकेट में लाया तो कोई जगमोहन डालमिया जी ही लेकर के आए। आईसीसी की इतनी बड़ी औकात हुई उनके कारण से ही हुई।
Dalmiya, who joined BCCI in 1979, remained one of its most influential administrators, taking the game to great heights. He served as the BCCI president from 2001 to 2005. He returned to the top position earlier this year as a consensus candidate following the controversy around the then BCCI chief N. Srinivasan. Dalmiya had also served as president of International Cricket Council from 1997 to 2000.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Violent protests continue as Nepal adopts new constitution. Ready to face domestic trial, says former Lankan army chief Fonseka. And India's cricket fraternity condoles death of BCCI chief Jagmaohan Dalmiya. Now our viewers can watch the on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.